Good evening, you're through to Junior at All Fans TV. How are you? Good evening, and welcome to the live watch along for Leeds versus Liverpool. Can Liverpool climb up to fourth position? Currently 52 points, only 3 points away from fourth. So fingers crossed for all Liverpool fans. As you know, I am a big Liverpool fan, so I am counting on the Reds to do the business this evening. But obviously we've got a tough task in Leeds. If anyone remembers the first game of the season, Leeds, I believe they were in front 3 times, but Liverpool managed to squeeze a 4-3. So fingers crossed, there's lots of goals today. Really looking forward to it. First Liverpool game since All Fans TV launch, so I'm really hoping for a good result. Fingers crossed. Obviously there's been lots of news today. Most notably with obviously the news that the Big Six want to disappear. But I've just realised I forgot my phone, which I desperately need, so let me grab it now before we get into the show properly. Apologies. I'm back just in time. But I needed to get my phone. Let me just wait for my camera to readjust. I'll look at a bit of fuzzy for you. As you can see, I've got the sides out on the left and the right hand side. So I will update them as we go through the game. This was the predicted lineups put out, so I'm fingers crossed it's going to... I'm just waiting for my face to unphase. I don't know what's going on with my camera right now. Apologies. There you go, just needed a kick, like all good things. So as I say, listening to Neville speak at the moment on Sky Sports, no doubt what he's talking about, the Big Six trying to disappear. They no longer want to be part of the Champions League or the Europa League. Bit of a shame, quite disgraceful, especially to do it at a time when no fans are around. Very, yeah, just a bit uncrass. You have to apologise, I've been rushing around this evening, got back a little bit late, so I do apologise, but I wanted to make sure that we was here for you guys, make sure we do the watch along, so apologies, I'm scrambling around, but I am now in the game. Let's hope Liverpool are in the game this evening. Obviously I hope we're joined by lots of Liverpool fans throughout the day, throughout the match, so hopefully it's not just Leeds fans here to abuse us, or sorry Arsenal fans after their result yesterday trying to get their own back, hoping for a Liverpool loss. But you have to be really careful with Leeds. Obviously they've got Bielsa, very good manager. He's not just known for the sitting on the cone like he does. He's actually a really experienced manager, goes into absolute detail, but I think the main thing that sets him apart or sets Leeds apart is they have the man marking, which not many clubs are doing. They all have their own formations, but with Leeds they're going man to man. They're going to try and take you on, so it should be really interesting. And I also think that's why they concede a lot of goals, because if they lose that particular man, then that man's through. So I'm really looking forward to it. Once the lineups are confirmed, I will let you know. I'll just have a quick look in a minute. So what's everyone's thoughts with the I don't know what they're trying to call it, the Super Six or some daftness? What's everyone's thoughts? Obviously I've heard the uproar, I've seen the Mourinho sacking, I've even heard our very own Klopp come out and distance himself from anything to do with it. So what's everyone's thoughts? Obviously it's easy to criticise. What makes me laugh is half the teams aren't even really in the six, which is quite ironic. Tottenham trying to squeeze in there, Arsenal trying to squeeze in there with a divine right to play in Europe when everyone else has to earn that right. And I understand, I haven't read too much about it, but I understand it doesn't come with relegation. I understand the chairmans of certain Premier League clubs are involved in these secret meetings. And I also understand the Premier League are meeting tomorrow on Tuesday without the Big Six to discuss obviously what's happened, which is just random. Imagine the Premier League meeting without the Big Six, which is normally they only invite the Big Six, don't they? They only really care about the Big Six because they generate the biggest revenues. So massive day. How do you feel about Mourinho being sacked? Is it a good move by Tottenham? Are they going to pretend it's down to results? Do you believe that? Is it more down to what's actually happened, the rumours that he didn't bring them out to training? I know we've got some Spurs fans that often watch, so let me know in the comments, guys. Give me some feedback, but also give me a bit of insight. I've not seen too much today, so give me a bit of insight, what your thoughts are, what the ins and outs of this tournament is. As I say, my understanding is it's a replacement of the Europa or the Champions League. Won't be relegated. It will basically mean that you're playing good teams every week, but with no real ramifications. And it also means they won't be in the Champions League, which now brings the question into the integrity into the league. So if you're not going to win it, what's the difference between finishing second and 10th? What are your thoughts on Klopp trying to distance himself? Is that genuine? Is it he's now realised the uproar? Or genuinely are these chairmen of clubs just going around making decisions and not even informing the managers, not giving any insight into what they're doing to the fans? It's absolutely disgraceful. But I don't want to go in too hard. I know everyone's had their opinion and I'd love to hear your guys. Kickoff's at 8 o'clock, so just under 20 minutes away. And as I say, if Liverpool do win today, before Chelsea play tomorrow, they can go fourth level with West Ham. So it brings to light West Ham's misery at the weekend. What a big dip that was, because within a space of a few days, Liverpool could be potentially level. Chelsea could potentially be past them. Tottenham are not a million miles away, and that dream of Europe starts looking a tough task. So shows you how disappointing West Ham fans must feel. Obviously, I'm quite glad as Liverpool, because it means we now have a chance of getting back in the top four and hopefully getting rid of that dreadful title of having the worst Premier League defence, which no one wants, especially us. But I'm also hearing there's chances that people could lose medals over this and trophies. So how ironic would it be that Liverpool wait 30 years and then the chairman's try going through the back door into a side league and that trophy gets removed. Obviously I don't want that to happen. We won that league fair and square. But obviously there is movements today, isn't there? There is things happening. So let's have a quick hello to the chats. So hello Grant Wyatt. He's quite happy that Jose has been sacked. Bit weird before a week before a final, Grant. So let me know how you feel about that. Are you still confident, or was you not confident at all? Bearing in mind it's obviously the mighty Man City, even though they have done a couple of losses now in the last couple of games. Class FM's in the building, talking about the European Super League is a bad idea. Think we play enough games already. Very true. Although they would obviously be removing their European games, I believe, and I could be wrong, this would be their only European ventures. 11 points in 12 games he had to go from Grant. Absolutely not great results, although not great point coverage. But the timing, week before a final, but it could actually kick fire and give the players a little. Either they wanted Mourinho to stay and they're going to be upset and want to win the trophy, or they wanted Mourinho to leave for the same reasons you're saying, just not great results, and actually it might give them a spur. They could get in a temporary manager, like a legend Tottenham guy, see if they can get something out of them. Wijnaldum is playing instead of Jones, so I'll make that change. Thank you very much. Any other changes, do let me know, and I'll make sure those changes get done. And Fabinho instead of Williams. I haven't got a Williams. Or was that Wijnaldum? I'm not too sure what that was meant to say. Salah has been dropped to the bench. As I say, I'll have a quick look at the fixtures in a second, or the lineup, and I'll make that change just before kick-off. These are only predicted lineups that I got yesterday, and to be honest, it's not a bad lineup, so I'm interested to see what has changed. If it's just Wijnaldum and Fabinho, then maybe I'd be happy with that, as long as it's not the top three. Although I would like to see Jota play. Going through the Leeds lineup, obviously we'll change that again, but the main threats, if they're playing, is obviously Bamford. Lots of goals. Phillips in midfield really puts in a shift. And as I say, they're quite hard to beat, but at the same time, once you get through their man marking, they can begin to leak goals. So not long till kick-off, 15 minutes. And then Grant White saying, rather watch us lose on Sunday playing attacking football rather than sitting back. And I think that's, from a neutral, it's very obvious that Mourinho's football is so boring. And you think after he'd been labelled with that and he got to Tottenham, he had a chance to potentially try and show everyone and unleash attacking football. And if anything, it's probably gone even more boring. And I believe a lot of managers, including Mourinho, have really got away with it this year because there's been no fans. Imagine you guys are in the stadiums. There's no way we'd be putting up with some of these boring displays, some of these half-hearted effort from players, and some drab 0-0s that the season's thrown up a lot of this year. So, Tanqu's in the building. Why do you think Liverpool need to be contenders? Or what do you think Liverpool need to be contenders again next year? Or do you think it's just an off-season? Brilliant question. If we keep Klopp, we've roughly got the right team. If we lose Klopp, I'm not too sure, because what Klopp has built works for him. So a lot of these players majorly overperforming and have been for 18 months. The amount of games they've played, the times they've got us out of crazy results with either comebacks or last-minute goals. Obviously, we've battered some teams sometimes, but I remember some of these games where I think it was more down to Klopp than the players. So if Klopp wasn't there, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, with what happened today, I've always had in the back of my mind that he sort of reached the mountain in Champions League, Europe, obviously the league. It was interesting to see how long he would stay around for, and obviously with this obviously happening today with the Super Six, I'm not too sure that I'm convinced he would stay around. So in terms of players, thank you, I'd love to, we do need some new players. So again, I'm answering this based that Van Dijk's back, that Gomez back. So if we take this team that's in front of us now for thank you, Robertson absolutely fine, we can win the league with him. Trent absolutely fine. Alisson. Now obviously with Phillips and Kabak, you could argue that, but if we're looking at next year, that should look like Van Dijk, Gomez, and potentially one of these, Kabak, Phillips, and Rice Williams trying to break through and come through. And we've also obviously got the guy we brought from Preston, who no one's seen yet. So all of a sudden we're looking not only quite stacked there in terms of depth, but the starting back four of Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez, and Trent. Obviously, we went 60 odd games with those guys. They played a lot of those games. We won the league with those guys. So defence absolutely fine. You look at the midfield when Wijnaldum doesn't want to be here. Obviously he's going to Barcelona. Jones is young. I start looking at Fabinho, but yeah, he's only going backwards in terms of he's a defensive player. So maybe one more midfielder, and if we kept all our strikers, including Jota. So to answer your question in a shorter way than that, we'd need one midfielder either way. But if Klopp goes, we could need a complete overhaul, as mad as that sounds. I'm not too sure some of these players will play as well for other people as they have done for Klopp. And I'm also not sure that he galvanised the not only the players but this whole city, the whole fan base. Are we going to start to not believe anymore? Are we going to start to not be that 12th man? You've already seen with Liverpool not being in the stadium this year what it's done. So it's a really, really good question, thank you. And it's a long-winded answer, but we're one player in midfield if Klopp stays. If Klopp goes, then we could be in real, real deep trouble. As I say, we've got great players, but we've also got players who could potentially leave if Klopp goes. So Mane, Salah, there's a potentially a lot that could disappear. Even the mighty Van Dijk, he could disappear, which is alarming to say the least, especially if we're not having a great end to the season. We don't get into Europe, Klopp goes. It's a big summer for Liverpool. If we can keep Klopp, maybe add one or two players in the midfield area, maybe a cover for Robertson, because the guy from Greece hasn't quite worked, although we've hardly seen him. And obviously maybe a bit of cover for Trent, although we have got, I forgot his name, the young right back for us, the young local lad. So maybe a little bit of cover there, but one player in midfield, I'm quite happy we can win the league. Let's not forget we were playing very well at the beginning of the season, even without Van Dijk. Did we just hit a slump, and then that slump turned into a really deep slope downwards hill. So I'm very, very confident for next year, but only if Klopp stays. Fabinho instead of Phillips. Yeah, I'll make these changes in a sec, guys. Liverpool will get battered from SLND Studios. I hope not, but prediction is 2-0 to Leeds. It could happen. Let's be brutally honest. Liverpool haven't been on fire for a number of weeks. We've just gone out of Europe, which it looked like we might start to make a comeback and get into fourth and do what Liverpool do and get into the Champions League latter stages. That's not happened. We was resoundingly beaten by Real Madrid. They were clearly the better side. So I could see it happen. The problem with that score, SLND Studios, is the 0. Can I see you scoring 2 goals? Absolutely. And as bad as it sounds, we just haven't been keeping as many clean sheets as we'd like, although a bit more lately. But can I see you not conceding? No, is the short answer. I don't believe you can. And Milner instead of Jones. It looks like I've got a lot of changes to do. And I'll make those for you in a sec, guys. Arsenal atmosphere has stayed the same even with no fans. So there's a bit of banter coming in from Grant Wyatt. And thank you. All fair comments. Been so long without the starting back four for you now. I forgot what it is like to see you win every bloody week. So have I. And it's been, to be honest, I remember saying to a close friend that I'd really got quite blasé last year. I started to switch off games when we went 1-2-0 up, and if I had something to do, I'd quickly do it. I started to expect us to win, and I knew that cherry was going to burst eventually, and it really, really has. But as I say, and as I said, thank you, there's some good players to come back. If Klopp's had some terrible time this year, obviously his mum. We've had Alisson, we've had Van Dijk. There's been lots of things going on at Liverpool that have made it unharmonious. If Klopp can put everyone back together again, then we're going to be a team to be reckoned with. We're probably going to be at least in the top 2 next year. That's my prediction. But I'm also an honest person. I love Liverpool. But look at what we've done the last few months. If we start the season like that, we'll get nowhere near it. We also have to be careful of our rivals, Man United. Yes, they probably haven't deserved to be second this year, but they are. They don't play very attractive football. I've got a flyer, annoying flyer. They don't play very attractive football. They're always going 1-0 down, but they're second in the league. And every time I look at the final whistle, they tend to have been winning more than they're losing. And that's with people like Pogba not playing that great or hardly playing. The McFred that they say in the centre of their midfield. So if they sort a little bit of that out, then next year you could see a new challenger to not only Liverpool but obviously well. So while the comments calm down, let me just make these changes for you guys. So let me know in the comments, guys, as I say, your thoughts on this new Super 6. Really, really interested to hear your thoughts why I make this team. I'm sure as I look at the telly, that is what Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher are discussing as we speak. I'm sure it's on everyone's lips, especially with Mourinho going. And I was near enough like a Mr. Miyagi then and caught the flyer. Like this year for Liverpool, I was nowhere near it. I'm interested to obviously watch the Tottenham game at the weekend now even more, because I don't know in history if anyone's... Tell me, has anyone ever sort of sacked their manager just before a final? I'm not too sure they have, or maybe not for some random reasons. Class FM, obviously Man United fans saying he'll win the league next year, and as I say, I'm too honest for my own good. There's not a chance of you winning it, but there's a chance of you being a lot closer than you are this year, which is good for you guys, but it's not good for Liverpool. So let me ask you a couple of questions, Class FM, if you're a Man United fan, one making the teams. Are you a Ollie in? Are you Ollie out? What's the situation? Let me know. Is this year good enough? Are you happy with how it's gone? Just as I'm filling out the sides, I'm just quickly looking at Sky Sports, and Klopp's all over it. My opinion hasn't changed. Nothing to do with me. On the eve of a big game against Leeds, it's very disappointing to see that. And as I alluded to a minute ago, if he potentially is coming to the end of his tenure, this could accelerate this, which is very disappointing. Thank you. Probably the strongest 18 months of any team ever. The home record, the league title, the Champ League, Salah's goal record was horrible for a United fan. Well, big up yourself, thank you, because you're the first Man United fan to say that to me. You're right. We were probably the strongest 18-month team ever. Unfortunately, it was only 18 months. With what you guys have got for Man United, as you were the strongest team for 10, 15 years. I know you and Arsenal had your moments, but if I'm honest, you were always winning that moment as far as I'm concerned. I'm just getting the teams. I know you guys have all seen it. Big up Barney Jones in the house. Liverpool 3 or Leeds 3, Liverpool 2. I was thinking you was going to say Liverpool was winning then. But nice to see you, Barney Jones. I hope it's not 3-2 Leeds. I hope it's 3-2 Liverpool. I do want to see some goals tonight. And Bill up, I'd rather have Ole than Mourinho back, which is probably true. At least with Ole, he's one of you guys, isn't he? Although he does seem to have his favourites, he's still one of you guys. So, yeah, I understand that. So, yeah, I'm just going to write this team down. Can't believe Phillips is not playing. The Bolton Baresi, I've been well impressed with him lately, but obviously he does need a break. But he's one of these shining lights to come out of what we've been doing lately. And Milner for Jones, that's annoying. And Jota for Salah. Luckily for us at Liverpool, we have so many strikers. When they changed, it's not too much of a disappointment. And obviously Fabinho's, as much as I've been bigging up Phillips, is clearly a better defender, although he's a midfielder than Phillips at the moment. So not bad changes for Liverpool. I'm just looking at as they go through the promotions, as they go through the formations. Thank you. Only 8 points off Man City at the moment. As I say, it's hats off to you, it really is. As much as it pains me to say, but hats off to Man United. And as I say, you've done it not playing very well. That's the scary part. And you've done it with a team that I don't even think Man United fans truly believe in. You make a few changes next year, it's going to be very, very interesting. Very, but as I say, in all honesty, and this is the truth, I want the big clubs to do well. As I was saying about Arsenal the weekend when I've done their watch along, as much as it's funny for a little while, it gives me no pleasure in watching big teams not play well, because you end up, the games are not good. Look at the game of the weekend, it was not very good. It was fun for a little while because it's happening to Arsenal, but not for me. I'd rather the big clubs. I don't want the big clubs to disappear like they're trying to do, but I would definitely rather the big clubs play well and have good seasons. And so yeah, big up Man United. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm a football fan. Liverpool have had their own way for the last 18 months, as Thank You says. So Bill up, he's doing all right. It's hard to compete after the start we had, which is very true. Grant White, Jose got Spurs to the European Super League and got sacked ruthless. Yes, football is a ruthless game, as we're seeing. As I looked up to the screen, I believe someone from the Leeds holding up a "Football is for Fans" t-shirt. That's obviously true. The only thing is, someone said to me today, which is a good point, and I'll just quickly bring it up, is years ago, and I don't really remember the details, so someone let me know, there was a big uproar with Sky Sports and the way the Premier League was going to be different and how it was going to generate more money. And obviously this is the Premier League that we now all love, so it's quite strange when you think of it like that. Is it as, I don't know, in 10 years' time, is that Super League the thing we all love? Is it not as big a deal as we all think it is? As I say, it's something to think about. But please give me your opinions. Just changed Liverpool's. It's just kicked off, guys. So let me do the clock. We've only missed 10 seconds. Let's go. Come on, Liverpool. Let's go. I've changed the Liverpool one. I'm not that bothered about the Leeds, but I'll do it for the Leeds fans in the building. But this is a Liverpool watch along today. We need a big fast start. Clearance by Fabinho. Leeds at the control at the back. So yeah, need a fast start. That's the thing that's missing mainly from Liverpool this year is, as you remember last year, you could turn on after 20 minutes and Liverpool will be 2-0 up. This just hasn't happened this year at all, which is very, very disappointing. If anything, we've been snatching the odd goal and then even being caught back again, so we'll go 1-0 in later on in the second half and then still concede another goal. Milner with the cross, cut out, and Leeds clear. The thing you have to watch about Leeds is on the counter-attack, because they're just game, aren't they? That's what everyone likes about them being back in the Premier League this year. They're just game. Class FM, I'm Ollie, and now to be fair, I was Ollie out, but he needs time to hone his management skills, but the players work hard for him and team are improving slowly, lol. Very slowly, but they are improving. Or his results improving and the team's not. That's what you're going to find out next year, when hopefully Liverpool aren't having such a bad season as they are. Arsenal, surely they finished 8th last year, they're 9th or 10th now. Surely they're going to start to build on that. They can't continue to be all the way down. But as I say, let me know what you think. I think I got fairly close to the Leeds team, which I'm happy about. And I believe Rafinha isn't playing, which I'm even more happy about. Oh, he isn't. Let me know if I'm wrong, but it looks like I believe he's their best player isn't playing. So really, really happy with that. He must be injured. Leeds on the counter-attack. Robertson hounding down like he does. Good to see the press from Liverpool. Jota and Mane into lovely skills by the goalkeeper. Fabinho back into the box. It's a really, really big game for today for Liverpool. As I say, 3 points off 4th place. But as I say, Chelsea play tomorrow, so it's big pressure for us to put the pressure on Chelsea, put the pressure on West Ham, and to a little bit of extent put a bit of pressure on Leicester. We know that they're known for falling down as the season goes on. So if you put a bit of pressure on them, hopefully that will happen. Say fingers crossed. Fingers and toes. So 3 minutes gone. Leeds playing it around at the back with Liverpool pressing nice and hard. I think that's another reason Milner gets chosen sometimes, as you know, that like when we used to have Lallana, the press is just a guaranteed play. Mane wins the free kick on the edge of into their half. Does that really, really well. Holds the ball up. He's quick and strong. Really, really good to see. Thank you. Big decisions to come. If United want to go into the Super League and it doesn't drastically change football, they can do one. Yeah, it's really mad. And I hear that the Glaziers are going to be a chairman of not only Man United but a chair of that league. It's all just awful, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's not what any of us signed up for. But as I say, there was murmurs today from someone that this is what happened, the uproar when the Premier League become the Premier League we now love. Thiago, tipped over the bar, my Meslier. Thiago's playing much, much better lately. I don't know what everyone thinks. He near enough scored against Real Madrid when we did score from his rebounded shot. And there he's just skipped lovely past him, drop of the shoulder. Lovely shot, tipped over the bar, corner to Liverpool. I know he didn't even have a bad start, but he was being blamed for our lack of goals. But since then, he's really proved what a great technician he is and the reason Bayern Munich wanted to keep him. Very, very good player indeed. And so is Rafinha, as I said, who doesn't look like he's playing. Someone linked with Liverpool a couple of times now. Ailing on the counter-attack. Good player. Into Dallas, now they're on the counter-attack. Can they get the cross in? This is Leeds. Terrible cross. Alisson sees it go over the bar. Just make this last change for these guys. as I say, even though I don't care about Leeds, let's try and get they're at least half right. If anyone's watched All Fans TV before, you know I'm quite known for having the wrong team as we slowly get used to it. If you are really, really new, you know we only launched on Friday, so excuse if I'm a bit behind. It takes me a bit longer, and I'm just getting used to the chat and all those bits and bobs. Liverpool now through to Robertson, great cross. Unfortunately, no one's there. It was a great cutback, and again, Leeds clear the ball. Yeah, so All Fans TV launched on Friday. We're a new fan channel aimed at bringing you as many sport watch-alongs as we can and covering all different sports. So at the weekend we had UFC. This weekend is a big UFC. 261. Unbelievable. Masvidal versus Usman, Weili Zhang. It's absolutely stacked. Fabinho again, back in. Great cross. Cleared away. Can Mane get there? Corner to Liverpool. Yeah, massive weekend of sport coming up if you're a UFC fan. I know Bill Up, you're a massive UFC fan. So I'm sure you'll be looking forward to that. Some really, really big fights. I think you've got Shevchenko on there as well. Absolute barnstormer. And obviously Masvidal has obviously got a full camp. So yeah, All Fans TV bringing you different sports, all the watch-alongs. We'll be here for you 7 days a week. Come and join in, like and subscribe, and follow us on the socials. Daniel Dublin, it's going to be a tough game, but I feel we can win 3-1. I like the optimism. It's definitely going to be a tough game. But as I said earlier with Leeds, if you can get past the man marking they're known for, they tend to leak goals. You've just got to work hard because they will work especially hard. Obviously with Phillips in the midfield, he's beginning to take his place in the Liverpool setup. In the England setup, so he's a very, very good player. And someone being linked to teams like Liverpool and Man United and a lot of top teams, because a lot of top teams are searching for holding midfielders, and he does that very, very well. Although he's not a traditional holding midfielder, as he's got the legs, he hounds. But with everyone now playing the press, which is becoming more and more popular, he is becoming an integral part for Leeds, and it looks like for England. Euros. Talking to Euros, we'll obviously be with the Euros every day. So when they start, we won't just be doing the England games, we'll be doing every game we can. So come on, support your team, rep your colours. And as I say, we've only started last week. Over the next couple of weeks, we will start to be bringing fans on. So please get involved. We've already got quite a long list already of fans from different teams, different sports, want to come on for different days, times and watch-alongs. So if you want to come on All Fans TV, help us make this channel what we want it to be, which is really inclusive and for everyone. And please email allfanstv@gmail.com. One of the team will get back to you, we'll get you booked on, and you can come on here and have your say. Obviously you might be from one of the top six and want to have your say about what's happening with this proposed Super League. Liverpool on the attack from Jota, breaking at pace, beating players like he does. Milner should have gone to that ball. That was quite a good pass. Milner's blaming Jota, but go to the ball. If any kids are watching, go to the ball. Don't let the ball come across you as much as you need to. Go to the ball, meet it. Exactly like Fabinho does and Thiago. Players like that. Straight to the ball. Oh, dodgy pass back by Kabak then. He made it, but only just, so a bit dodgy. Howard Johnson in the building, big up everyone. Not missed everyone. Grant Wyatt, where's Rams? Hiding after yesterday's performance. So yeah, Rams will be joining us tomorrow as we do. Talking of tomorrow and talking of Rams, we have tomorrow our first show. So as you know, we've been doing watch-alongs. But if you like Fantasy Football League, tomorrow we are launching our very own. So you'll be able to join our league. And obviously we can see who knows more, who can get the most points. And obviously for the end of this season, it'll be a bit of fun. And we'll just try and build the numbers. And as I say, as the channel grows, but then next season we'll throw in some prizes, make it a bit of good fun, but also something for you to win. So you haven't just got the bragging rights, you've got something to take home as well. Talking of bragging rights, my money's on me. I think I know a lot about football. The only thing with all these fantasy football leagues is I tend to be a bit lazy with them. With this benefit of doing this channel is I'll actually make the changes when I'm meant to. I'm sure there's others out there like me that put the team in and have a great hope, and then there's an injury and if you get your log in and all this random stuff. So join us on Tuesday and be really, really good fun. Rams will be on. And yes, to answer your question, Grant, why I think he is hiding after yesterday's performance. Very, very poor from Arsenal, and I believe Arteta is on his way out if he wasn't already. And maybe you can answer me that in the chat. If he wins the Europa League, is that enough for another season? So it'd be FA Cup one season and 8th. Let's say Europa League and 8th or 9th. Is that enough, or is it time for him to go? Thiago wins the ball back, lovely, but a foul was pulled for the challenge by Milner just before. Milner doing what Milner does best, getting stuck in. It's unbelievable what he's doing at his age. And if any club, when he leaves Liverpool, I'd like to think there'd be loads of clubs still in for him because he was deemed past it when we got it. JJ's in the building. Think Liverpool will win this 3-2. Thiago is a world beater. You and the league will see the best of him next year. Totally agree. I alluded to it earlier on how much better he's been the last few. Leeds have a chance from a cross. I think it was Bamford, who's normally very reliable from there. Side foots it wide. See that again. Whipped in ball. All 4 or 5 of Leeds players were offside, so even if it would have gone in, it wouldn't have been counted. But let's see if we can start putting a bit of pressure on them. It's been a lukewarm game to say the least so far, very quiet. Leeds pushing up very high from our goal kicks. Go back to Robertson. Robertson to Thiago started very well. Obviously had the shot that just went over the bar, the only notable shot of the game so far. Pushed over by Meslier, great save. Fabinho's now bursting into midfield, forgetting he's in defence today, finds... Well, maybe he's staying up there, to be fair. Oh, he's making his way back now. I thought Thiago was going to give it back to Fabinho. Fabinho is now back, luckily. Liverpool keeping the ball quite well, although we have to go backwards. Kabak with a ball over the top to Mane. Comes back to Jota, quite luckily. Leeds player down. Sure they're going to be looking at this after. Jota into the box. Heavy touch. Finds Jones, finds Milner. Great turn by Jota. Great challenge by Leeds. Number 10, I'm not too sure that he is. Whoever he is has got this weird sort of blue hair. Blue sort of blonde hair, but very good challenge. But Liverpool still on the attack. It fizzles out. And it's Alioski who's got the very sort of bright hair. Unbelievable turn by Jota. Skins his last man, and then Alioski out of nowhere, great challenge. As I say, we've done that one. Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree. Glazers only care about how much money they can take out from the club. Yeah, there's a lot of Glazers haters. But I wonder if you do well in the Europa League and finish second, add a few more players, make a real tilt for it next year, will Glazers be okay after all? Where obviously with Arsenal, with the Cronkies, it's all going a bit wrong. Lovely challenge by Robertson, but it breaks for another Leeds player. I think that's Ayling. Sends it out. Cross is coming in. Cross in from Leeds. Great cross. Easy hands by Alisson in the end, but it was in the right area. Didn't recognise Alisson then. Sure, it's Alisson. He's had like a haircut. He's had an airbash. Jota is a beast from Luke Spencer. Hey Luke, how's it going, mate? Another Liverpool fan, good to see you. And he certainly is a beast. Well missed while we were going for our bad run. Really, really was missed. Made great start to his career at Liverpool. And then obviously to coincide with some of our bad run that we had, he also was out, which was sorely missed. What I like about him is he can beat players, which I didn't really know when we got him from Wolves. Obviously I recognised he scored goals, I knew who he was, but I didn't realise how fast he was. Great cross by Robertson, cleared at the front post out to Mane. Milner, still Milner, can we maintain the attack? Throw on, I believe. It is throw on. I know, we've kept it on, apologies. Into Jota. Weak ball, but good run from Jones. That's one thing that Jones does bring you, is those runs. Good to see Fabinho bursting up there as well when we are on the attack to make that extra man. Makes a big difference with him in there. The 16 minutes gone. As I say, we only had one real chance, which fell to Thiago, tipped over the bar by Meslier. Not quite as exciting as our first game of the season so far, which was 4-3. And as I say, today is a bit more important. We're 3 points off of fourth. I just want to win. I don't care how it comes. But Leeds are into our box. Good ball to Bamford. Great challenge coming back from Thiago. Comes out of nowhere, wins the ball. Very, very good challenge. That's another thing with Thiago as well. Not only is he playing technically brilliant, and I know he's gave a few yellow cards away, but he is a midfielder. That can happen. But he challenges, he gets in, he gets stuck in. But what he can do is just what he's just done then, and just an easy pass. He makes everything look so easy. Firmino with a shot, saved by Meslier. Be nice to get Firmino on the score sheet. Very unlucky last week, so it'd be really, really good to get him on there for his confidence. Obviously, if you just look at goals, you maybe don't think what an impact he has for us. But if you watch Liverpool, he's essential to some of the stuff we do. And say if we can somehow get all four onto the pitch sometimes, which I'd really like to see, especially in games near the end, then I believe that would be the best for us. Bamford with a flick through ball to no one. Keeper clears. Alioski with the blue hair, I know, madness. Absolute madness. Long ball to Mane, he's through on it through the channel. Faces Alioski up. Couple of little turns, cross over. Bit more of a hopeful cross than knows where he's passing it. It falls to Jota, out to Robertson. Back to Diego Jota, comes inside, plays near enough a nice 1-2 with Firmino. Nice to see us having lots of the ball, like we often do. We just have to be careful with these Leeds counter-attacks. As I say, let me just give another plug for the Fantasy League tomorrow. I want to see loads of you on here. Get involved. We'll obviously make our team on the show live. You can obviously have your debate whether we know what we're talking about, and then when we put the pin out, you can join our league. Bit of fun for the rest of the season, and then when the season's over, we can obviously still see who's won this year, but then next year we'll make a real big song and dance over it, put some prizes on, and let's see how that goes. So really, really looking forward to that. Light-hearted show. Please join us tomorrow at 7:30 for that. Be about half an hour, good bit of fun, light-hearted banter. See if we can spend 100 million well. See how many Liverpool players I can get in. At least 6, surely. The Leeds have got a lot of goals conceded from corners, just come up on the screen, but Liverpool can't make advantage of it, and that is a handball, very unlucky handball, ball to hand more than hand to ball, but was given against Mane, so Leeds will be able to clear their line. Alioski's playing quite well for Leeds at the moment. Obviously done that great clearance earlier on, and every time I look he's defending quite well. I'm sure Leeds fans will be happy about. I'm sure Leeds fans are just happy in general, aren't they? Let's be honest, that they're back in the Premier League, they're holding their own, they're exciting to watch. Oh, Firmino across the box, near enough drop them for a Liverpool player, but Leeds clear their line. We have to be really, really careful now. They're on the counter, but luckily Milner gets back, covers the space well. They have to move inside. They've spread the play very nicely here. If they can get the overlap, but they go for that early cross. Great cross. Ooh. Kabak swung a leg at it. Had to. If you're playing defence, you've got to cut the cross out. But it was a little bit in front of him, and if he'd have made a better connection, that could have been going goalward. In the end, it's actually a good clearance. Kabak's been playing quite well lately. I know he's getting a lot of stick, but I think that's people who don't tend to watch our games. The first few games I wasn't too sure, but him and Phillips, Bolton, Baresi, Phillips have been really, really good, and we've actually kept some clean sheets. And I've been especially impressed with Phillips, as I say. I believe he's a great addition now for next year. Puts his head everywhere. He looks like a true defender. Probably not the best technically, but that's why we've got Van Dijk. We don't need any more technical players, and we've obviously got Trent and Robertson back there as well. So yeah, really, really impressed with that. And hopefully between him and Kabak, we can make one of them a mainstay for next year and put a bit of pressure on Gomez and Van Dijk when they come back, if they come back. Obviously Van Dijk is not a big injury he's got. I don't expect to have any problems with Gomez, but Van Dijk, he could not be the same player. Bielsa's sitting on his bin in cold. I think he'll be fairly impressed with how Leeds have started. And as I say, I haven't had too many clear-cut chances, although we are on the attack now. It's out for a throw-on. JJ, how good do you think Bamford is? Should he make the Euro squad? It's a very good question. So, will I think he will make the Euro squad? No. Should he? Well, probably yes, because he scored lots of goals. I'm not too sure how many more English people have scored more goals than he has this year. They've been with right at the left foot most of the time, as you can see in the picture now. He's playing up front on his own, so he's scoring these goals, but he's also putting in hard yards, hard graft. He's working well with the press system that Bielsa adopts, and as I say, he's doing that on his own. So I do think he's really, really good. Yeah, is the short answer. Do I think he's going to be in the Euros? We've got, and I say this in the nicest possible sense, out of all of the people that I think know anything about football who used to play football on the telly, Southgate's the least one. And the fact that Trent is having to now convince that he should be in the England squad, there's no chance for people like Bamford. If a European and a league winner, someone who gets 9-10 assists a year, gets crucial goals, and is involved in a team that didn't lose for 66 games, so there's no, he can't defend. Is he just better at attacking? There is no actual proof he can't defend, apart from when he gets skin, they bring it up, but then every right back gets skin. So I'd love to see Bamford in the Euros, especially when you think we've only really got Kane, Rashford. Oh, poor defender, Bamford's through as we're talking about him. He gets a bit of, I'd have to see that again, but it looks like a mistake from one of the Liverpool centre backs. Bamford goes through, ends up being a good save by Alisson, but then it rebounds, it looks like off Fabinho, and goes desperately wide. Let's have a look. So yeah, it was Fabinho. Dreadful pass into centre midfield. It's set for Bamford free, and as I say, in trying to make up for it, Fabinho near enough scored an own goal. But that is why we have Alisson in goal. I must say, with new hair, looks completely young. I really didn't recognise him. I'm still not convinced it's him, even though I just see his shirt, I think. So looks really, really young. Leeds corner. As again, thanks for joining us, guys. Please hit the like and subscribe. Good Leeds corner. Luckily, Alisson gets his hands to it. Milner's out there battling, or Jota, should I say, does well off of Roberts, who was trying to keep that counter attack on for Leeds end, and Roberts battles, Jota battles and wins the ball back for us. Everyone's welcoming Howard to the chat. The statement, our primary job is to maximise revenue and profits. The wider good of the game is a secondary concern. Absolutely disgusted me. So you have to, is that coming from someone from Man United? Thank you. You'll have to let me know. I assume it is. And if that is the statements they're coming out, it's awful. And let's be honest, are we even hearing half of it? There might be even more that they haven't released yet, that they were just gave us the tip of the iceberg to see how it went. As I say, tomorrow's Premier League meeting, I'm sure there's never been another one. I'm not going to say it's the first ever, but an interesting meeting tomorrow where all the Premier Leagues and clubs are meeting up on Zoom, which is what we use, which is hilarious, made me laugh. Even the big boys use that, and they're meeting together to discuss what happened without the top six. So wouldn't you love to be on the fly on the wall in that? I think, if I'm honest, they should let fans go on that. There should be like a limited number, and you can log on and actually see what's being said for a bit of transparency. And as I said earlier on, I've even heard rumours that they're looking at potentially removing trophies from people and stopping them or removing them from in the Champions League for this year. And if they took Liverpool's trophy away, I've got to be honest, I wouldn't be that bothered because we won the league. We had the trophy. If you were working for the club, the trophy means everything. What a daft decision that would be. 30 years to win a trophy and then you try going somewhere else on the back door the year after you win it, and then you end up being removed or having a sanction put against you. I've heard some crazy things that could happen against these top six, but at the same time they are still the top six, so let's not make no mistake, they make the most revenue. Wijnaldum's just got the ball, Phillips from a mistake, Jota into the box, great ball, another good challenge from Leeds there. Firmino was quite behind him actually, I say great, but it was a bit behind him, I was getting excited there. Milner, I think everything Liverpool do today might be brilliant or amazing because I need a goal. Phillips gets back there and makes up for his mistake in the middle of the park. Can't wait for the Henderson-Fabinho midfield partnership to start again. You and me both, Luke. I was asked an interesting question by Thank You earlier on, do we need to strengthen the side basically to win the league? And my answer was no, if we have Klopp, and if we don't have Klopp, we do. And that was the main reason, is because once we get Van Dijk and Gomez back, you get them three beasts in midfield, it's just going to be outrageous. It really, really is, and I can't wait. And obviously, I'd like to think we're going to keep the strikers for at least one more year. There doesn't seem massive murmurings that they're leaving. I'm under no illusions that eventually Mane or Salah will go, and hopefully they'll go for big money when that happens, and with our best wishes, which is what Liverpool do quite well. And obviously if you look at Coutinho, it doesn't always work out great leaving us. Leeds playing around with it at the edge of the box, which is all I've seen all weekend, is this new style of play where you just pass around your box and not go anywhere. But to be fair to Leeds, they've ended up going somewhere here. They're now into our half. Ayling with the cross like he does from outside the box. Good cross. It was won by Bamford, but in the end Trent heads it back to the goalkeeper. Good to see Trent have another good game today. What he needs, obviously he's had a couple. Thiago with the no-look pass, got cut out, we got lucky there. It goes back to him and he luckily finds Alisson, who clears his lines out to Jones. Good to see Jones back in the starting lineup today. Everyone forgets he's 19. We hear a lot about these Sackers and Rashford, Greenwood and Foden, although Foden's on fire. But don't forget, this guy's been now playing in the Champions League for 2 years. He's got a Premier League's medal. He's played against the best teams in the Premier League and won. Played against the best teams in Europe and won. And he is only 19. And I feel like he's being completely sort of forgotten around the general sports fans chat. And he's definitely not being looked at, I don't believe, by Southgate. Which he probably shouldn't be, but he should certainly be spoken amongst general fans. He's an absolute baller. He's young, and I can't remember many times he's not played well. So he's definitely one for the future for Liverpool, which I can't wait. And then Thank You just letting me know it was a statement about the Super League. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. Is there any update on the Kane injury yet? No, to be fair, I've not heard anything. I was a bit late back today, so you guys are more up to date with me than what's going on. The one that really struck me was the Mourinho news a week before a final. Madness. And is it that he didn't take the team out that's been reported? Is it now that's latterly been reported coincidentally that it's nothing to do with that and it's just down to results? Well, the results have been pretty poor other than the up for a while. As Grant White said in the comments, the football's been horrendous for a long time, so it would seem weird that Daniel Levi's sacked him a week before a Carling Cup final. But also, while we're on that subject, Mourinho, great ball, reverse ball to Jones, 1-0, to Trent, to Mane. This will be looked at for offside, no doubt, because it was played quickly. I'd need to play that again, but that looked like a sumptuous goal by Liverpool. 30 minutes in, we needed a good break. Apologies I didn't see it straight away. I'm still getting used to watching football on mute. But let me see it again. Who was it? It looks like it's a Jota reverse ball through the gap. He's miles onside. I can see from here. Vars it down. Trent probably went to control that to get a goal. I don't blame him, but it ended up... Let me have a look before I say that. maybe past it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Mane slots it into an empty net. 1-0 for the first time on All Fans TV. Wallop, first goal, first change. Liverpool in the building. And that is, as I say, thank you, why we don't need to make changes, because when we play like that, there's all the ingredients in this team to win the league. And let's not forget, because it's been a long season, I keep on hearing statements that Man City have been unbelievable this year. Not quite true. They've been unbelievable since, I don't know the exact date, but wasn't there a time, and this wasn't 2 games in, this was like 8, 9, 10 games in, that they were 12th, 13th. So I couldn't quite believe it. Liverpool were first and second then. I was thinking, wow, we're actually going to run away with it. So, yeah, they've been great for 3/4 of the league, but they're still human. They still started pretty average. And if you watched them on Saturday against Chelsea in the FA Cup, which obviously you could say they've got bigger things on their mind than the Champions League, but they were a little bit awful. I know there's talk of them getting Haaland, but if they don't, and with Aguero surely leaving at the end of the year, they really did look quite bang average. I'm not saying they are, but they're certainly human, that is for sure. Yeah, how old is he now? Big character replace, exactly. It's just showing Gareth Southgate, which, to be fair, played to him as I slagged him off earlier on. He is everywhere. He is watching the game, so it's his opinion to make, isn't it? At the end of the day, I'm just stunned how anyone can. Let's make no mistake. Trent's not been horrendous this year for Liverpool. We've been bad in general. He's not stood out. Some of the other players have definitely played worse than him. So how he can watch it. They're just watching it again. Robertson into Jota. The reverse ball, honestly, it's absolutely beautiful. I'll give Trent the benefit of the doubt. He passed it. And Mane slots it home for 1-0. Beautiful goal. Really nice to see us scoring goals again. Oh, how old is Hendo now? Good question. Let me find out. I should know that, but I don't. As I say, when you ask us questions, guys, we're only normal people here at All Fans TV. We don't pretend to know everything, even about our own teams. So let's have a look. I think he's about 30. They're all just talking about his debut. You wouldn't think it would be that old to find out how old he is on Google. But it's definitely, I think he's 30, yeah, I thought he's 30. And he was born on the 17th of June, so he'll actually turn 31st in the Euros. So he's definitely going to be one of our oldest players, and this will probably be his last go. I just hope, for football's sake, that, I know it's easy to slag him off, but you don't slag Wijnaldum off, but he can do what Wijnaldum can do. He's powerful, he runs, he's quick, he drives, he's a leader amongst men, his passing range is unbelievable, he gets crucial goals, and he's just captained the teams that's won the league and the Champions League and the World Super Cup, or whatever that nonsense is called. So I hope he's in this for this year. Even if he doesn't play every game, I'm aware there's some other good players, and I really want Grealish to play in this Euro. So for people like Grealish and Mount and Foden and some of these youngsters, I really do want to start. Then some of these more stable players might need to miss the odd game, but I definitely want Henderson there. Definitely want him as captain in the Euros. 110%. How smart is it to sack Josie a winner just before final, even if it's harder to sack him after that? Yeah, there's no answer to that. Oh, but I missed what I was going to say. But those that are bigging up Mourinho, because I've heard a lot of people go, "Good on Mourinho." Something to make no mistake, Mourinho knew he was going to be sacked soon. I think he's found a way out. Maximum payout, maximum compo, and let's be honest, he has been hated amongst England fans for a couple of years now, which after the love affair when he came from Porto is weird. We all used to love him and think he was Bants. Now we all hate him, think he plays boring football. Is this just a clever ploy by Mourinho to try and convince people that he cares more about fans than he does anything else? So I'm not sure he does. I think he knew he was going to get the sack. Probably knew he was going to lose on Sunday or whenever it is the final is, and out of there and try getting some good PR on the way. But it's definitely weird that he's done it. JJ is correct. And what's the thoughts on the final on Grant? Are you going to win? Do you feel confident? Obviously, it's difficult to feel overly confident, I'd imagine, against Man City. Been a bit unlucky drawing them in the final, really. You'd like them to have gone out, especially as you're desperate for a trophy. Let us know how you think. If I hear, as I say, I see Luke Spencer saying about Kane's injury. If he's injured, then I can answer it for you. How confident you are doesn't matter. You're not going to win. Because Kane is an unbelievable, and it goes a little bit like that for Euros for England, because Kane's really, really important for us. Leeds are beginning to come back into it now. They're playing well. Good block by Fabinho to Mane, who keeps it on. Good booking, and it rightly is so for Alioski. He's trying to say it's his first foul. I'm not too sure that's true, but he has been playing quite well, and maybe he's a bit unlucky. Giving the finger to the referee. As I say, if you're new to All Fans TV, new fan channel, launched only last week, so please bear with us. And we're going to be having fans on as early as next week. So if you want to come and join us and help me out, help Rams out, then come on, send us an email, allfanstv@gmail.com. One of the guys will get back to you. You can come on. All you need is Zoom and good Wi-Fi, and we can get you on and you can join us. Whether it be for your favourite team watch along, as we're going to do all different teams. I know we're doing Liverpool today, but we're going to be doing all different teams. Or if it's for a bit of fantasy football league on a Tuesday. We've got Fight Camp on a Wednesday, which is another show being brought to you this week, which is all about obviously UFC and boxing. Whether it's for UFC watch along, football watch along, whatever you want to do. Or we are going to do interviews, so if you don't want to come on live, rather just have a chat, I'm happy to interview you on your team, and then we can put that out if you're a bit more comfortable with that. As I say, let us know. All Fans TV, normal people, just like you. We just like sport, and obviously we all have our favourite teams. Oh, I thought Milner was going to score a worldie. I thought that was close, but you're going to end up looking at the replay and it's wide by about 20 yards. But good to see Milner getting up there and taking chances. Doesn't score enough goals. Wasn't a million miles away, but never going to test the goalkeeper. Lovely height to have a go. Those who have played football, you know, when it drops like that, you can't help but have a go, even if there's a pass on. That or a half volley, you know how that feels. It's time. Jota forward to Trent again. Lovely override by Thiago, but he's been ignored. But lovely run by Thiago there. Very clever player. Made the run, allowed Jota the space. I don't know who that was diving in. That was Milner. Going for someone's legs. Great running back by Firmino. He's dived in. Two Liverpool players dived in then. It's great running back, but stay on your feet, boys. That's just silliness, especially with people like Ayling who can put the ball in. Bamford, as much as he's not known for it, I've seen him score a few headers this year. I'm sure Leeds fans can tell me they've got other great people in the box. Never going to get there. I don't think he actually touched Ayling too much, but down he went. In the book he goes. 38 minutes in, Liverpool winning 1-0. JJ, it's the leadership's quality with a young squad of Hendo, and that is really it. He's not the best player. He's not at Liverpool, but he's the one I miss the most when he's not. But if there's a midfielder gone and it's him, I always worry. I.e., at the beginning of this year when we had no fans, I loved watching Liverpool when he was playing, because wherever it was, like now you did, Trent, go on, Salah. He just was everywhere. Terrible pass back with a head from a Leeds player then, and near enough fell to Jota, who tried the cheeky little chip over. But yeah, you can hear him everywhere he goes. He's a leader and he leads by example. He's not one of them that just shouts. He's running very, very composed. I hear a lot of people saying that there's great players in the Premier League taking it off the goalkeeper from the midfield. I don't believe there's any better than Henderson, and that's how I feel. I've watched him for so many years. He comes deep, he turns, he passes. He hardly loses the ball, and he's been doing that against the world's best players in the Champions League and the league for us. I know last year he moved a little bit further forward, as obviously Fabinho has started to make that his own. But for years he's been coming back, collecting it off goalkeepers and defenders. He makes Van Dijk's life so easy. Great cut out by Thiago, running his socks off. There's space there for Mane, find him. Selfish from Ronaldo. Selfish, took the shot in the end. She had a clear, easy pass through the channel to Mane. Robertson bursting through. One of them reverse passes to no one, near enough come off. Thiago, lovely tackle again. Thiago, lovely tackle for the second time. third time he should have got a booking then. It's a thing with Thiago, I love it, but it's calm down, mate, calm down. Second challenge was brilliant. Long ball by Leeds, lovely cleared over the line by Henderson back to the goalkeeper. Good to see Liverpool over the last few weeks, looking back to their normal self. Obviously, I know in the Real Madrid game, as I said, quite honest to admit they were beaten by the better team. But obviously we'd won 2-1 against Villa before that. And obviously Leeds are on a rich reign of form. 2-1 against Sheffield in their penultimate game. And then obviously the mighty 2-1 win versus Man City in their last outing. You can see Klopp in the dugout doing his orders. I'm really interested to see the fallout of this Super Six with Klopp. I'm really honest when it comes to Liverpool. I love them and I'm a bit biased with some of their players. But I can see when the writing's on the wall, and obviously with what's happened to Klopp and his mum and not being able to go back and bury her, I think that would have brought to home that he's in a foreign country. He's now climbed the whole mountain with Liverpool, the whole mountain. Everything we've won. I know maybe an FA Cup we might not have or something like that, but who cares about that? Not me. Leeds with a shot. We've won all the ones that matter. Is he just going to think that maybe it's time to leave? And especially if John Henry has gone down the back door and not told him. I believe Klopp when he says it that he hasn't, then that's just really wrong. You can't manage a club not knowing what's going on. And we're meant to be a community club. We're meant to be different at Liverpool, so very disappointing. It's very disappointing from all the big clubs, isn't it? How they're going to say after this that they're a community club and all this sort of stuff. Now, I know they're still in the league, but they are essentially trying to get away from ever not being in the Champions League. And for Arsenal and Tottenham are the new money in the Champions League. For those that are in their 20s probably think they're not, but in your 30s they weren't in the Champions League. Newcastle were. They're new money in the Champions League. For them to be able to think, and Daniel Levy, that they have a divine right is absolute madness. And Arsenal are closer, near enough to the bottom than they are at the top. They're teetering on the edge, aren't they? They're hanging on to this Europa. But to think that those clubs think that any club thinks they need a divine right, but at least for the other clubs, they're in it. And they're probably always going to be in the Champions League. So you think, well, half makes sense. Great turn by Mane. Goes back for another one. Can he go on his left? He did, but he didn't seem too confident having a shot then, so went for a side foot pass that was never there. Luke Spencer's loving the fire. And then JJ, thank you. 21 wins in a row is what won them the league this year until United put a stop to that. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, as I say, they didn't start right at the beginning of the league, but when they got it right, once Diaz, their new players, and Cancelo and all these other new players that for once Man City brought, and they all just gelled, yeah, they've been unstoppable since. And as I say, thank you. I've picked up Man United. I'm not naive enough to see what's happening in front of my eyes this year. You're not even playing well when you're second. Thiago out to Fabinho, all the way back. That's disappointing. Should have gone out wide. Yeah, if you can, in my opinion, get rid of Pogba, he's just a great player who only does it 10 times a year. If you're lucky, you need a player that does it 30 times a year. You get rid of him, which obviously make a replacement for Fred. A few other bits and bobs, and I think Man United could be a real danger next year. Especially if they keep Cavani as well. I've heard talks of Cavani going back. I wouldn't allow that. Try and sign him up. Scored some crucial goals and he offers something different to what you guys have got. Bamford with a clever pass, but it was cut out well by Kabak. Nice to see Kabak do that. Get in the box, Kabak. It's merely back to Kabak. He's on the edge of the box. Love the way you try getting that foul, but that's not happening. But he wins it back. Jota, closed feet. Kabak still up there. Diving in like that. And then it gets cleared. I do like this Kabak. He's definitely not as good as I thought he was going to be defensively, but he's definitely raw. He's quick. Some of the challenges I've seen him make are good. And good to see him go forward then. Yeah, how has he not passed it? It's true, he should have passed it. Statement by the Leeds manager: there is a reason why football is most loved sport in the world. In any game, the poor can beat the rich. Does the Super League put a stop to that? And it's very true. and everyone loves. That's why the FA Cup's always been so. I know over the last few years it's been killed off a little bit, but growing up when it was on from like 9 in the morning, and that's why it was so big, is because you could see those. I mean, when Wimbledon beat Liverpool all those years ago, you get those big upsets. Do you remember Millwall in the final? Big up any Millwall fans that are watching. Yeah, there's madness. I think those sort of things, the Super League. But as I do keep on harping on about, I've got to give the other end of the argument for anyone's listening. I wouldn't want it to happen. I'm like, oh, I actually thought that. I was talking today, and if you look back at when the Premier League was founded and all that sort of stuff. Half time, by the way, guys. So let me stop the clock. 1-0 to Liverpool. Quite a sumptuous goal by Mane after a good bit of football. If you look at when the Premier League was founded, there was all this new, Sky Sports was new, and all this Sky Sports money, and it was all for the rich and all geared at top four, and that's the Premier League that we so dearly love. And sometimes in Europe, I've also got to say this, some of the teams in Europe, I don't even know there are some of them. Some of the Europa League you can't watch until the latter stages, and even in the Champions League sometimes you're playing young boys. And so, as I say, I don't like it. I just like football the way it is. It's perfect the way it is. Why change it? But I'm sure people in my age, when the Premier League had come out and got changed and they'd be used to it for nearly 40 years, I'm sure they were like, well, why change it? We like League One and all this sort of stuff. Why do you have to make the Championship and Premier League and all of that sort of jazz? So it'd be really interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. The only thing I care about is Klopp gets massaged his ego tonight by John Henry and apologises, and because we don't want to give Klopp any reason to disappear from Liverpool. For those Liverpool fans watching, if you are believing that we continue as we are without him, I totally disagree. Same players or even better players. It's Klopp is the reason Liverpool are like Liverpool now. When he leaves, unless we get Gerrard, which we do have the option of doing, let's be honest, that's where it's probably going to go. And yes, he started really, really well. Everyone can say it's an easy league, which he probably is, but he was meant to come second in it and he came first. Meant to go out early doors in the Europa League, and he done well. So he's clearly a good manager, but Klopp is Liverpool and Liverpool is Klopp as far as I'm concerned. So he can be the manager for the rest of his life until he grows old, as far as I'm concerned. I like what he does. I like how he behaves with the players. I believe everything he says. I've seen some weird stuff over the years where he's written letters to fans, and he has a good bit of bants. And obviously with the Allez song last year for the Champions League, I remember seeing him sing that, and with a pint. And he's for us. He's certainly the manager for me. That is for sure. Rice would be good for United, says JJ. Very good shout. I think Rice is going to be good for a lot of people. And knowing the way West Ham have sold players over the years, and with their current chairmen, the Sullivans, the Bradys, the way they've got their stadium, I don't believe that they're building in terms of wanting to win the league. They're building to be in Europe and make money, which means you get in Europe, you sell your best players. You do that every year, so be interesting. But what sort of crazy money would he want? I'm not too sure. The world's gone absolutely mental with these transfers. I'm not too sure he's worth 50, 60, 70 million. But I do really, really like him. I hope he's in the England squad, but I do not want him in the England squad at the expense of Henderson. No way, no sir. And if he is the new Henderson for the England squad, get him in there, get him rubbing shoulders with Hendo. And when we're through, bring him in. On games we're winning, bring him in and let him learn from Hendo. Thank you. The Prem was so diverse with teams from all over, not the mega rich distance themselves to further gain more money than the rest. We will see, I guess. It's exactly true, thank you. It's they are still going to be in the Premier League, I guess, so their argument might be to that they're still letting the Burnleys of this world come to the Old Traffords when they're sold, and they get, the way it works in football, for those that don't know, is you get 50% of your gate on away games. All those sort of things that they're still making money from the bigger clubs with the bigger fans, so maybe they say that still exists. But the thing for me is what happens if you're Liverpool now, maybe not now, but say we lose tonight and it becomes obvious we can't get in the Champions League. What's the point of coming 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th? We're in the Champions League anyway. I mean, we're not going to win the league. Sorry. So you're not going to win the league. What's the difference between 2nd and 10th? A bit of money, but you're still going to be in this Super League. I can see Carragher and Neville, no doubt, talking about it again. Carragher's got a smile on his face because obviously Liverpool's winning, although he's a secret Everton fan. Everyone knows it. Let me just tell you a quick story. When he first got on there, I was like anti-Neville. I was like, how dare Neville be on Sky Sports News? Crap defender. And he was, let's not make no mistake. Everyone remembers Romania from the World Cup or the Euros. I was a young lad, so don't count me on the dates. But I just remember thinking, you tosser. Like, you don't make any mistakes for Man United. You're not great, but you've got Becks in front of you, so you don't have to. But when he come on to the commentator, I hated him. And obviously all throughout playing career, I loved Carragher. Now it is the opposite. Carragher is a twat. He's biased when he wants to be, but then he completely slags Liverpool off because he's not really a Liverpool fan. He's obviously got massive love for the club because he played for him, but he is a blue. Where Gary Neville, he's calmed it down because obviously he's in the inner circle of the Ollie friendship as Ferdinand are and all those, so he's calmed it down a bit. But he does call a spade a spade. He's been calling out Man United for years, and I'm sure everyone likes their bants. I love seeing them together, don't get me wrong. I'm not slagging Carragher off too much, but together they're brilliant, and their competitions and their banter and when they have to do Euro 11 and stuff, I'm glued to it. But he's very annoying. All them times you want like one of your own to become a commentator, and then he gets a commentator, and half the time he's slagging you off. The only time he doesn't slag us off is when Neville's there, and he's only doing it to wind Neville off. Like Neville up. I've watched plenty of Liverpool games where he's annoying me throughout the game. We're playing well. Oh, Liverpool are playing rubbish. We score a goal where they should have scored 2. Any Jamie Carragher haters out there, I'm with you. And any Neville lovers, as mad as it sounds, I think he's hilarious. And if you watch the podcast he does after the football matches now at the weekends, it's the best podcast, football podcast, I believe, on YouTube. And you get to see him in the gantry straight after the game. It's cool. Very, very cool. He's just showing the Bamford chance after the Fabinho mistake, which was interesting because we were just asking how good really is he. And yeah, I mean, if that's for England now, we're all annoyed, aren't we? Let's be honest. We're all very, very annoyed. Daniel Dublin, hopefully Klopp never goes nowhere and the owners don't decide to sack him for standing up for the fans. Yeah, I don't think they'll sack him for that. Well, I hope not. But it's more going to be, how's he going to sit with that when he gets to the end of the year? Has he got enough energy to go again with Liverpool? Because he is going to have to rev the engines again. Let's make no mistake. All our players, thank you, asked me earlier on, do we need any players? We don't, but they do need revving again. They need resparking. They need a rest and go again. And Klopp can do that, but only if he wants to do that. Even if he's 100% convinced of what he's doing at Liverpool is for the good and for the fans, and he's going to represent this rock and roll football and lifestyle he wants to live. If he thinks it's on the downward slope, I believe it's gone. And as I said earlier on, the loss of his mother, and when I read that he couldn't go and go to the funeral and stuff, that's just madness. Obviously I know COVID, I'm not just downplaying. Dangerous, do their best to do their bit for the world, but like that. So I don't know. I think he's going to go back to Germany, and when he does, as long as it's the right time, I wish him luck. By then, hopefully Gerrard sort of is the man by then, and there's no questions whether he can do it at the top level. So really looking forward to hopefully having him around for a few more years. Thank you. The TV deals evenly distributed between all Premier League clubs regardless of money or position. That's how it should be. Well, in actual fact, if you think about it, it should actually be less than that. So surely it should just be down on revenue. So if you're giving money out surely it's down to revenue. So look at it that way. Why, if anything, the Burnleys of this world and the clubs that need it should maybe be getting more of a TV percentage, because we're still going to watch the Liverpool, we're still going to watch the Man United, and they're still making enough money to cover for that deficit through, and obviously this year, but through merchandise, through websites, through obviously people coming through the turnstiles. Where Burnley can do that as well, but it's all tenfold by the big clubs. So thank you, you're right, it definitely should be even, but if anything, we should even get a little bit more some of these lower clubs, especially ones that are going to yo-yo down. Like, if anything, I don't really like this parachute payment. You look at Norwich, they're going to come back up this year. I haven't got the league in front of me, but I guarantee if you look through the last few years, majority of them come back up now. Well, that wasn't the case. Look at Leeds, they had to wait years. Where now you go back down if you're Norwich, and when Arsenal came in for their midfielder, I can't remember his name, but very, very good midfielder, done it in the Premier League as well when they were up here. Everyone was talking about good money, but they just walked it off and went, no, we don't need your money, we've got 50 million and we're going to be back in the Premier League next year, where they will then probably sell him, which is just crazy. So I think we'd be better off just giving a bit more money to those lower clubs that are likely to be in the relegation battle. But then when you go down, well, 100 other clubs below you that are trying to get into there. So why should we help you get back up? And if you put players on crazy contracts to try and, make clubs think twice of how they actually work in the Premier League as well, instead of going to get these crazy players over the years. I think, thinking of Norwich got one, didn't they? They got that Dutch guy, can't remember his name. He's meant to be one of the best players in Europe, but they got him too late and he just came for the money. It was an absolute waste of time. So thank you. UEFA want to remove all participating players and clubs from all competition leagues, even internationals. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting what happens. I can't, as I say, it wasn't planned and it's not what football's all about. Everyone loves a bit of controversy, don't they? And again, we get to show our weight as fans because we're not having it, and because the managers for once are not having it, we might actually get our voice heard. So there you go. Thank yous, just letting me know I'm not losing it. Norwich have been relegated 4 times and promoted 4 times in the last 10 years. Madness. And is that down to parachute payments? I don't know, but I do know that they didn't have to sell any players, which crazy. They got Max Aarons, haven't they, right back. The guy I said in midfield, who these guys are potentially worth 20-25 million in last summer, and Norwich just waved that money off. You go and pay 20 million for any other Championship player. Look what Leeds did for Ollie Watkins. They can't refuse it. Brentford had to take it. It is what it is. So yeah, if you're just joining us, it's 1-0 to Liverpool, and if you didn't know, I am a Liverpool fan, so I'm very, very happy with that. And if you're a Leeds fan, you've played okay, but just not had any chances of note. And Liverpool haven't been battering your door down, but we've had plenty of the ball, as you can imagine. And I'm really looking forward to the second half. Hopefully Liverpool can start off where they left off, quick on the ball, and hopefully get another goal quickly. And as I say, if you're joining us tomorrow night, we will be doing our first ever show of Fantasy Football League. Be about a half an hour show, so not too long like these watch-alongs. Come and join us. Bit of quick fire banter as we build a team capable of whooping your butts. So the way it works is we'll make the team, you will then put out the league, and then you can join the league. Bit of bants for the rest of the season, because obviously we're halfway through it or near enough at the end. But hopefully it will build some traction. We'll have a bit of fun as we go through the rest of the season. And then, as I say, next season, allfanstv, hopefully had some good prizes for you, couple of little competitions, and make it real good fun. We're also going to be doing a football tournament sometime in the summer. So anyone who plays football for a team in England and wants to come along, the venue will be in London. Be a good weekend's worth of football where we'll try and find. You haven't written the criteria, so bear with me, but we want it aimed at average footballers, to say the least. You, me, the guys down the pub, you and your friends who still play together and you've played since school. we might have to do a vets one and another one, but we're going to try and find local grassroots pub teams and teams playing Saturday and Sunday league. But who think they're tasty, because there's going to be a proper tournament. We don't want, if you're crap, don't apply, basically. Come, just tune in and watch. We want to see some worldies, but we also have your chance to have your team interviewed, get your team a bit of exposure. It's all the fad now, isn't it, with YouTube teams? So allfanstv are going to have a bit of a giggle with it and give you guys a chance. I used to play football, I would have loved it. Give you guys a chance to put your skills on the net, and get your goal, share it around to your friends, and obviously see if you guys can win the tournament. So keep an eye out for that. It will be full details to come, 7-a-side or 11-a-side, whatever we decide to do. And as I say, it won't be like some of these other ones I've seen on YouTube where it's teams that are full of semi-professionals. This will be you and your mate sitting at a pub. You decide to enter, you send the email, and then you come. As long as you are a team that is physically playing with you, they'll be like together at the moment. There'll be some stipulations, because obviously there'll be a minimum amount of teams, say maybe 8 or 16, depending on the tournament format. So should be a really good weekend. Obviously there'll be lots of beers and stuff at the bar, and it will give you a chance to meet some of the allfanstv team. And obviously I'm assuming we'll probably put a team in, although I can't run anymore, but Ram still fancies himself with the ball, so I'm sure he'll put some sort of team together. And maybe we might even have some of you fans that are local to London, and you can come and join our allfanstv. All-fan team, just so you know, is 4 people, so we clearly haven't got a team ready to play, so we need some extras. So maybe you guys can chip in and help us out. And I did hear from Bill in the comments, who messaged in over the weekend saying that he likes the idea of a tournament. So we know we've got a representative from Essex already, but let's get some other teams in from all over the country. And yeah, as I say, coming in the summer, it should be a good giggle. Second half kicking off. I'm going to see if there's any changes. You know, it'll take me half an hour to make them. But hopefully there's not. I don't think there is. Managers have been nice to me. Hopefully Klopp's done the same. Alisson with his new haircut in goal. No changes at the back. No changes in midfield. And no changes up front. And as I say, if you're joining us, Mane with the goal on the 31st minute. It was a lovely reverse through ball by Jota. Trent would say expertly controlled into the path of Mane. I would say a little bit lucky. Mane swished it home for 1-0. It's good to see, to be honest, a low-scoring game against Leeds after the 4-3 game at the first game of the season, which was really, really fun. But now it's the business end of the season. Only results matter. How do I think the second half will go? A few more goals in this half, I think. Yeah, so I think that the result's going to be 3-1. I thought that since the beginning. Dirty challenge on Kabak then from Roberts. He's going to go in the book for that. He should do. Yeah, I think it's going to be 3-1, but I don't know, football has been surprising lately. I thought the Newcastle game wouldn't be a high scoring game. It was. I thought Arsenal were going to put a few past Fulham. Obviously they only scored in the 98th minute or whatever it was. So one of our shows is predictions, football predictions on Wednesday, where me and Rams are going to have a bit of a giggle and a laugh and do some forfeits and stuff with who wins. Oh, Firmino with a shot there. And it's going to be quite interesting, because there's a reason I'm not a millionaire, because I've done lots of accumulators over the years, and I don't even really get close. I'd like to say like I'm one away all the time and stuff like that, but I'm really, really not. So Firmino with a good shot, and Meslier, who's a very good goalkeeper, very young goalkeeper. If you look at his face, he looks like he's a school kid. Good cross, should have been 2-0. I'm gonna have to look at that again, but that looked like a unchallenged header from Jota. Let me just have a look at this. Oh, should have scored. Kids, if you're watching this, which you shouldn't be because you're in bed, but I know I've had a couple of my little football team watching recently, you head down to the floor. always head down. Keeper can't get down and save it. Instead, you head over, or you head to a space, an area that they can save. That's very disappointing of Jota because he's played very well. Leeds playing very dangerously out the back then. Liverpool win it back for that reason. Trent then does the same. There's a space cut through. Leeds are through here a little bit. Great challenge by Milner. However old he is now, still showing he's got the legs but also the desire to get back and make a great challenge. Trent with the clearance. Feeling quite confident tonight, which is good because it's been a while since I've been like that with Liverpool. I hope Luke Spencer in the chat feels the same. I feel like we're beginning to. It's too late to make anything happen, but I've got a feeling we're going to start to do alright and hopefully build up to next season. JJ is from the Brighton area, thinks he's going to come and skin me and Rams. And he'd love to get involved after the lockdown finishes with this tournament. So as I say, look out for the details. It's going to be a bit of fun, which is why we want to keep it where it's not professionals, but it's players that play together in pub football or Sunday and Saturday league. But at the same time, I can't lie to you. We'll be having a look. We'll be doing research on you, so you can't be crap. But you can't be getting paid. You can't be an ex-pro. There's enough platforms for you guys to get exposure. This is for the guys down the pub, the boys that still play and got ballers in their team that maybe, do you know what I mean? Maybe it's too late to get noticed, but to have a bit of giggle and get your goal on the net. Everyone loves that, let's not lie. I had one of my goals shared on Facebook, and every time it comes up each year, I'm sharing it again, tagging in people. Why not? Yeah, we're going to give you guys a chance, and that's really what All Fans TV about. We're making it up as we go along. You can help us make it up. So great ball in by Milner. Mane beat it to goal. Meslier to the goal, but pokes it wide. I think he's injured Meslier in the middle of that. So yeah, All Fans TV. Just making it up as we go, and what we mean by that is you can help mould what this show is. There's lots of shows on YouTube that you get told what they're going to be. Obviously we've had to create some stuff to begin with, but as we go, we're really going to listen to what you guys like and don't like and what you want to do. And as I say, in 2 weeks time or less than that, just when we get a bit more comfortable with the technology, how to do it and that the channel grows, we'll be getting fans on every show. So there'll be me and Rams, or there'll be me and a fan, or there'll be me, Rams and a fan. We're also going to be doing fan debates, and as I say, if you haven't watched us before, then obviously we do all sports as well. I'm beginning to see some regular names in the chat, which I really appreciate, guys. I know that there's lots of watch-alongs to choose from on YouTube, and there's probably ones that are a lot more entertaining than myself. So we really appreciate it as we try and build. All I'd say about those channels, they're a lot more polished than us. But tell me which one you can go on. I'll tell you the answer. None. Unless you have millions of subscribers or you're outside one of the stadiums that they visit, if it's like that. That's where we want to be different. As I say, thank you to everyone in the chat today. Makes me really proud. It's been a long weekend. I'm really feeling the tiredness, but you guys are making it easy for me just to come and do this and get it done. I'm really enjoying it, and as I say, it was a big dream of ours to come on and do something like this, and Leeds crossing it, we're clearing it, and to see it all live and actually people here, and it's not just me mum, and it's really good. It's going to take time, and that's why we're grateful, but make no mistake, when we do grow, which we will, Jota breaking through, can he? Oh, unlucky. Great run by Jota. If he'd have found Mane, it'd have been 1-on-1. But when we do grow, we're still going to be the same. We're still going to be the same 4 people who made the channel. We're still going to be, just normal people. I'm still going to be probably late with lineups. I'm still going to not get the clock on at the right time, but more importantly, you guys will still be able to come on the show. Doesn't matter how big we get if we do that. Really appreciate all the chats. It's really warming. Robertson with the cross. Liverpool have been a bit under the cosh since the start of the second half, which is a bit disappointing to say the least. So hopefully we can get a second goal. Robertson cross cleared away by Leeds. Like it's going off. I know Milner's used his strength and kept it. Let it go off, but kept it for our throw on. Jota shaking his head. I think that's at the earlier one. Oh no, it's actually at that one. So not only he should have scored from a header, that one he could have got a volley to. Mane bursting past the last defender, but Struijk comes across and helps out and clears. Leeds obviously played 5 at the back, with obviously 3 central defenders, wing backs high, and then everyone else is man to man. JJ said he's going to come on, loving the content, so obviously just send an email, allfanstv@gmail.com, and as I say, over the next 10 days, 2 weeks, when we're just a little bit more comfortable, so we don't waste your time and we get it right and make you look good on YouTube and you're not buffering all this weird and wonderful technology stuff. We will get you on and it'll be great to hear from you. This is the principle of the channel. Great ball over the top, lovely bring down by Robertson. Unlucky Liverpool. Need to do a bit more of that, a bit more direct. Looks like it was given as an offside. All this new rules, it's madness. You're not allowed to put the flag up until they finish the action, even though it's clearly offside. It's absolutely madness. Silent Panda's back, big up, our international star all the way from New Zealand. Made my day at the weekend knowing you're all the way from there. Leeds on the attack. Fabinho and Trent trying to close up, and they do. Miscommunication there from Liverpool defenders. Want to see it a bit more slick than that. Jota's complaining, thinks that was a throw on, but it was clearly a Leeds throw on. Jota eating, but it's not allowed. So yeah, really good to see Silent Panda back in the building, and thank you and all the guys that normally join us. It makes our day. As I say, we're brand new fan channel, and it's quite daunting, as you can imagine. There's all these big fan channels with lots of money and lots of investment, and then there's us, spunk and passion, willing to give you guys a voice that we were unable to get on those other channels. As I say, I don't want to talk about other channels too much, but AFTV, United Stand, Ariel Hawani for UFC, lots of channels that you'd like to think you could at least get your chat read out on. Even the super chats were really ignored. That was a lovely ball by Leeds, by the way, and it bounced all the way across just as it goes out for a goal kick. Robertson, who's unsighted, obviously thinks he's under pressure and puts it out. So an unnecessary corner. Great ball by Alioski, right into the dangerous area. Yeah, someone should have been shouting for Robertson to leave that. If Liverpool concede a goal now, I will be absolutely livid. Completely unnecessary by Robertson. Come on, don't do this to me. Got a dodgy feeling in my stomach. Fabinho away. Back up in the air from Leeds, back post. He's going to keep this on. Oh, bounced across our goal. Milner is fuming. He is not happy with that. Milner clears it as it was coming back into the dangerous area, and he's literally just near enough had a hernia. He is fuming. That is what football is all about. That is their passion. And that's what's missing from the fans not being there. I can't wait for the fans to be back. I didn't go and watch Liverpool. I won't lie to you. I live very far away. Got small children. It's just something that's never happened. But I can only imagine what some of you guys are missing if you go every week, or your season ticket holders. Imagine you're missing it a lot, and I can imagine the players are missing that intensity. And I'm sure when they're playing crap, they're glad you're not there. I won't lie. They are glad you're not there. But when they're playing well, they would love you there. Great ball again by Jota, near enough split them open. Jota's awareness for a pass, unbelievable. That's something I did know he had when we signed him, but as I said earlier on, I didn't realise how fast he was. I don't mean necessarily over 100 metres, but 100 metres with the ball. Milner is a legend from JT, certainly is. And yeah, Leeds ain't saying much so far, Class FM, yeah. So come on, Leeds, this is shocking. As we say that, Leeds have another shot, another corner. Good block by that defender who doesn't block or do anything other than go and get assists and goals. Goes by the name of Trent Alexander-Arnold, if you're watching Southgate. And by the way, when you say, are you watching, it's a random thing to say because I'm fully... Uh-oh. VAR is looking at a potential handball from a nothing cross on Trent. just before he done that block that I was bigging up. So, Gareth, don't worry about it, actually. Take someone else. Take James. Bit unlucky if this gets given because it's dropping over his head. I can't see. I don't think it has been given. No, it hasn't, thank God. That would have been a bit harsh. Would have been quite funny, but a bit harsh. So, corner to Leeds does go ahead. Bit too high. With these higher crosses, they need to be whipped in at pace to cause any danger. But yeah, big up JT and big up that Milner is a legend. He really is. And as I said earlier on, when he goes from Liverpool, when we brought him, everyone laughed and said, "Oh, Milner's over the hill." And we've had him for about 3 years, 4 years, something like that. Even when he leaves us, he's still got more in to give. Leeds should have scored, so I think it's Bamford. I said how dodgy he is in the air, wins it in the air, plants it down goalwards. Like I said earlier on, kids header it down into Helder Costa, I think that is. Who would have been offside, thank God, but he did put it over the bar. But Alisson wouldn't have saved that. So, a bit lucky there, Liverpool. As I say, it was actually offside. Alioski was moaning for a foul, then Mane thought it was and miscontrolled it and then realised it wasn't, so we could have had an attack. Mane's been disappointing for me this season. It'd be interesting to see what Luke Spencer thinks in the comments or anyone else. He's been really, really disappointing for me. Still scored goals, still love him, still a great player. Should have scored a hell of a lot more goals. He's been feeling sorry for himself a lot. And he's gone missing in that crucial moment when we needed him the most. Salah was still scoring goals. Firmino was still bringing it into, bringing the ball up the field like he does and people into play. But Mane was going missing and seemed like he was sulking. And as I say, he's playing much better today. As I'm saying, he's sprinting around like a madman. So I don't want to be over too harsh on him, but after last year, I was expecting him to take another leap, but I don't. Contribution reflects that as well. So 16 minutes gone in the second half. As I say, we'll be back on live tomorrow night for our Fantasy Football League, so make sure you join us for that. Can't wait, it's going to be really, really good fun. Really enjoyed these watch-alongs, and I'm especially enjoying watching Liverpool win. But I'm really looking forward to doing the Fantasy Football League. Everyone loves building a squad. There's some interesting players. Do you know when you have to buy the cheap players to make it in your budget? There's loads of good players I can think of. I can't imagine there are a lot of money on that. Second half possession is tells a big story. 71% to Leeds, 29% to Liverpool. It's not often that has happened this year. So Leeds are really pushing for it now. Need Thiago to get on the ball a little bit more. And Wijnaldum, as much as I like him, needs to start taking hold of this midfield a little bit. Especially as Klopp's treating him with mass respect in playing him so much, even though he is off at the end of the season and has refused numerous new contracts. He's off to Barcelona. Thiago with a foul which was a bit weak but unnecessary at the same time. He's giving the referee excuses to look at him now. Bielsa's off his stall, he's marching. I think he feels that they're getting better as we speak. So how does the football fantasy league? How does the football fantasy league show? Do we get to build our own team? So the way it works is me and Rams will build a joint allfanstv team live for you tomorrow. We will then enter it in the league, and then every week it will be mine and Rams team versus you. And then next year, as I say, we're only at the end of this year. We'll probably do a team each, and then it will, as I say, you can see if you can beat mine and Rams team, see if you can beat our points, see if you know as much as we do about football, or are you as lucky as we are. And then obviously every week we will update, go through the scores, we will call out a few people in the league, and as I say, as it grows we will throw in some prizes and have a bit of fun. So if you like Fantasy Football League, it's just another reason to try and get your team right, because not only do you want to get for the leagues that you're currently in, this will be the first ever allfanstv fantasy league, someone to win it. And I'll be honest with you, it'd be nice for someone to win it, not me and Rams, because obviously in our first year we want it to all be about the fans. Next year I don't mind winning it. Next year it'll be me versus Rams, so should be good fun. But yeah, we'll be building our squad tomorrow. You can review what we've done. As I say, these are shorter shows for about 30 minutes, so straight into it, straight into the dirt of picking that side. And as I say, every week we will review the side, review the top performers, the low performers, and then decide/argue over the changes. And when we build the side, it will be decide/argue, because there's some players that you'd like to think we're all going to bank on, and then there's other players that me and Rams might disagree on. So good bit of fun, light-hearted for a Tuesday evening. Liverpool playing okay, but as I say, possession-wise, Leeds are winning. It's a little bit worrying. Thank yous, right? Absolute bargain getting Milner for a free. Again, these are the stuff I went through earlier on with Klopp, that he's built Liverpool and he's done it on pennies, really. It was a great challenge by Cabot, that was unlucky. But yeah, you look at Milner, you look at Robertson from Hull. Who else? Well, you look at Jones playing, even though we've got other players. You look at the defenders playing that we've had that are all ours. Not spent a lot of money. Gini Wijnaldum coming from Newcastle. Trent from the academy. Gomez was already here and wasn't really being played. Boom, straight in, and he was being played at right back. Moved him to centre back. Yeah, he's obviously sprinkled it with a bit of magic dust with Alisson and obviously Van Dijk. Yeah, he spent money on Fabinho. Money well spent. And Jota, but you look at everyone else, and that's great building of a squad. Look at Lallana when we had him. What a play he turned into. Good ball again by Leeds. That's the only thing, when he's in swinging free kicks from 30, 40 yards when they're out wide or left, right or left. If you get that line wrong, it's a goal. Now we're getting the line right, luckily, by a good yard or so. But there's got to be a different way of doing it. Dubs is saying awesome stuff. Looking forward to the show. Thank you very much, Dubs. Much appreciated. What's my score prediction? Well, it was 3-1. I might have to start going off that in a sec. I don't know, but yeah, I think I'm going to stick at 1-0. I won't lie. I think 1-0. I don't think Leeds have got it in them to score. Just going to see who's this player that I've missed that's come on. As I say, it's a Liverpool watch along today. There was a rough Leeds team. Who cares? If you're a Leeds fan and you don't like it, let me know in the comments. You haven't picked yourself up, so I don't know you're there. If you are there, then I'll change it. JT Milner is a legend, and it's never a pen. It was never a pen, you're right, but I did panic for a minute, especially because I just put my foot in it and bigged up Trent for his defending skills, and it near enough worked out. I think I've just seen the big man coming off the bench, so it's going to be Salah coming on. Be interesting to see who he brings off. Me personally, I would bring one of the midfielders off and go for it. Even though we're 1-0 up, if they got a goal, we'd be in trouble. And I also believe that, with our strikers, they're everywhere anyway. Look at where Firmino is now. He's playing like a midfielder, so it's quite possible. But will he be conservative and take off one of the top three? I just want to see these 4 on more often than they are. See. Again, thank you to everyone in the chat, much appreciated. When the ball goes out next, I'm sure Salah will be coming on. And my 3-1 prediction could work out. So it's a great turn by Leeds. Again, they're in the box again, and what a save by Alisson. This is why he's the best goalkeeper in the league. Unbelievable save from close range. I thought that was a goal then. Lovely feet by Roberts. Burst past Wijnaldum. What a save. I must say how young he's looking. I didn't think he was that young, bless him. Very unlucky by, I think it was Harriet. Leeds chance again. Cleared. Liverpool need to sort themselves out a little bit now. Trent's having a bit of a nightmare since I picked him up. Only 22 minutes left, guys. And as I say, join us this weekend for UFC 261. Last week was a bit of a hug fest on UFC. The only knockout of the whole night came in the boxing with Askren and Paul. I don't think that's going to be the case this week. You have Shevchenko versus Andrade. Now Andrade will try and throw her around, like she dropped Rose Fugg on her head once. But Shevchenko is a kickboxer and it will stay up. If it goes on the floor, it will be Shevchenko's doing. Going to be an unbelievable fight. And then you've got Weili Zhang making a eagerly anticipated return after that monster fight with Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Remember, with the lumps on their head, the women representing women in a massive way. Trying to cross it in. Too much. Robertson from the other side. And then obviously the big one, Usman versus Masvidal. So obviously Usman's not only the champion, beat Masvidal once already, and just coming off a victory against former teammate Gilbert Burns. So it's going to be very, very good. Tune in for that. If you like UFC or you just like fighting in general, join us for that. Starts for 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night. So please don't miss out. Thiago's not looking happy. Salah's still not come on, has he? Or has I missed that? I don't think he has. Be interesting to see who comes off for him, as I say. It's going to Mane, so I guess it's Mane. As I say, I'm not surprised with that. But I would like to see all 4 of them on, especially as Mane is not having as much of a great time as he normally does. Need goals. Goals were just... But as I say, Salah, the man, is on. You can't but like and appreciate what this guy does. There you go. So it's now Firmino, Jota and Salah up front. Robertson, who's having a very, very good game today, putting it wide again, out of the wide. Jota burst past the player, cleared. Salah near enough of his first touch. So JJ's asking, did we say something about Fight Club? Can't wait for UFC this week. Loads of great fights. Come on, Masvidal. So Fight Club or Fight Camp will be on Wednesdays. We're a bit dubious on days as we build, guys, to bear with us, but I think that's going to be Wednesday. And that will cover that Fight Camps where we go through all last week's results. So all of the UFC and the boxing in detail, talk about the fights and the knockouts. And then we predict this weekend's fight. So on that show, we will be predicting Masvidal versus Usman and all of the rest of the card. We will do these shows every week, those 2, Fantasy and Fight Camp. And we'll also be doing the same for football predictions. So don't want to bore you too much with the ins and outs of the shows. Tune in, we're live every night. And as I say, they're going to be short, fun shows. There'll be some forfeits coming up as the channel grows with with predictions. So it would be good fun for me and Rams. And as I say, the great thing about this as well is you can come on any show. So book yourself on Fantasy, book yourself on Fight Camp, a watch along. Obviously, you're more than welcome on anything you want to come on All Fans TV. It'll be great to have you on. For me as well, it's great insight. I don't know everything about every team. It'd be great to have a Leeds fan on with me tonight. I'm not too sure they'd be enjoying my banter with them, but at least they would be able to give me a bit more insight into some of their players and who's not here and who's missing and what do they think of their season. Obviously, as a neutral, we think they're really happy with it, but are they? I assume they are. So yeah, please remember to hit that like button and obviously hit that subscribe and try and share it on your walls or tell fellow people. There's a new fan channel on the scene, made by real people. We just like sports. We've got no major backers. If you get a chance, please click the link. Please click the links in our description for our sponsors who helped us get here and launch the channel. As I say, we are normal people. And as I say, I'll be on 7 days a week. Rams will be joining us on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Saturday nights for the UFC. So make sure you get involved for that. I can't wait for this week's UFC. It'll be an absolute knockout fest, and I've got a feeling Usman's going to put Masvidal to sleep, which is funny because obviously everyone's expecting maybe Masvidal to put him asleep, and Usman couldn't finish him, and I've just got a feeling Usman is just going to knock him out. So it should be really, really interesting. I can't wait. This game has, for a Liverpool fans, been like the best 90 minutes of my life. But I'm sure for a neutral, when they saw the two lineups, they were like, yes, Liverpool versus Leeds, 4-3 at the beginning of the season. Leeds can't keep clean sheet. Either can Liverpool. Bamford hits the bar. What a through ball. I can't remember who that was from, but they found Bamford. He expertly lofts it over the defender, and the goalkeeper, and it hits the bar. That should have been 1-1 to Leeds. Very, very lucky from Liverpool. And Leeds are back on the attack. They're getting another shot away. Cleared. Liverpool need to clear their lines now, which they do with Jota. Near enough a clever ball to Salah, but it's intercepted. Oh, Liverpool, just as I was about to say, for a neutral, it's been a bit quiet. It's just started to heat up a little bit, which is worrying if you're a Liverpool fan. So again, massive thank you for joining me tonight. It means a lot as we try and build the channel. Apologies, I was a little bit late, but as I say, we will be on every evening for you. So forever late, hang about, we will be here coming to you live and direct every time. There's also not many YouTube channels, especially not new ones, doing the amount of lives we are. The reason we're doing that is so you can genuinely get involved, not so we can edit our bad bits out. I'm sure there's times I can hardly speak on here, my teeth are stuck in, but at least you're getting the authenticity that brings. You're not getting a script read, version of what you don't realise. You know what I mean? You're not getting what just happened then. I could hardly speak. You're getting scripted, edited. Do that again. It sounds better. Every show we've done since Friday, we're now up to about 14-15 hours of live, and we're doing that for you guys, so you guys have the opportunity to get involved. And then, as I say, when you come on the Leeds are through 1-on-1. That, my gentlemen, I said it earlier on, and ladies in the chat, that is why he is the best goalkeeper, because we are now potentially 2-1 down, and if that one that hit the bar, we could be 3-1 down. Again, yards away from Alisson. He makes himself big. Great save. Roberts should have scored, to be honest with you. That's a terrible shot. Straight at our goalkeeper. Any other place, and that is 1-1. How have Leeds not scored? That's right, Class FM. I can't quite believe it myself. And we're still cutting it a little bit fine now. Great header by Thiago. That is a manly header by Thiago. And now 3-on-2. It's Robertson on the ball. He's got to get a shot away. terrible. That is. That really is terrible. After the pressure we've just been on, for you to do that, honestly. He had runners left, runners right, 2 versus 1. He literally, his heart must have been, boom. He's never been that close to the goal for ages. He hasn't scored for a while, has he, Robertson? What a bad decision that was. Very, very disappointing. Yeah, so again, people talking in the chat about the opinion on Super League. So I don't know if you missed it earlier on Silent Pan. My opinion is the same as most people's, really. It came as a bit of a shock. And why are they doing it? It's not really that great, but I also have the counter argument, not for myself, but I want to put it out there so people can see a different point of view. It was put to me today that this is what we went through when the Premier League became the Premier League. Everyone was saying you don't need to change it. There doesn't need to be Championship, League One, League Two. All the money's just going to go to the Premier League teams. They'll be the only ones on Sky, etc., etc. And now that is the Premier League we all love and don't want it to change. So, is it a case that? I don't know. Is it a case in a few years we think this is a good idea? What is funny about it is half the teams trying to bad kick out by Meslier straight to Salah, should get a shot away here. Does wide. I think that's a corner though. It is a corner. Yeah, half the teams aren't in the top 6, so Arsenal are in there and Tottenham, and so that's mad that they think they've got a divine right to be in there when they're not currently in there. So yeah, it's a bit weird, but as I say, another argument to it is the Europa League. Does anyone even watch it? Half the Arsenal fans aren't bothered about it until it gets to the semis and final. Same as Chelsea fans last year. And as I say, even sometimes in the early stages of the Champions League, you're playing teams like Young Boys and some teams that, you know what I mean, you look and you think, oh, is that it? So maybe that would make every European league actually match worth watching. But the bit I don't understand, and no one can answer me, cleared off the line by Meslier again, Liverpool on the attack there. The bit that no one can answer me is what happens if you're not winning the league, then there's no, am I right in thinking there's no difference really from 2nd to 10th? A bit of money from the Premier League, because you're gonna just be in the Super 6 or whatever it's called anyway, so you're going to be in Europe. That bit I don't understand how it's all going to work. And those who haven't seen it on the news, they are meeting tomorrow, the Premier League, to review without the top 6. So it's quite ironic they're not invited this time. They left them out and now they're leaving them out. So yeah, they're going to be meeting tomorrow to potentially look at sanctions. So could you imagine all the chairmen of the small clubs rubbing their hands going, hang on a minute, there's an invite without the top 6 and we can slag the top 6 off and try and get more of their money. I think there'll be some happy chairmans tomorrow, not the top 6 ones. Box is coming on for Jota, trying to make it a bit firmer up, so let's change that. Another player who has been quite disappointing this year. I was expecting him to really kick on this year because he was good last year, and hasn't really happened for him. It happened at all, really. I'm just making these changes quickly, so bear with me 1 second. No way I can leave him up front. That's clearly not where he's playing. Liverpool hanging on here a little bit, which is a bit worrying to say the least. That's the new team. As I say, apologies to any Leeds fans watching. I'm too excited watching the game to be changing your players. Manager should have thought about that. Should have started them. But you are playing pretty well. You are in the game. And yeah, as I say, getting back to the Super League, it's madness really. And why they brought it out now, and the biggest concern for me is it's upset Klopp. So that's the main thing I'm interested in. It's upset Klopp. If it upsets Klopp and he leaves, crazy. And if we end up being sanctioned or punished with our Champions League medals and our Premier League medals, then that is crazy. But would it surprise me? No. Would it surprise me if some of the people of the clubs are coming out saying it's nothing to do with me, and it is? Nothing would surprise me at football anymore. I had the pleasure of working in football for about 6 or 7 years lower down in the football leagues, and it's not what you think. Your average pub teams run badly. Not much difference. The only difference is people turn up to the training because they want their money. Other than that, it's the same bants, it's the same unprofessionalism. It's the same half-heartedness sometimes towards games as well, if I'm brutally honest. Seven minutes to go plus extra time. Liverpool are literally hanging on a little bit. Grant White saying we've been lucky in the second half, couldn't agree more. It's been as I say, I think we're just grateful is the word. Salah, a through ball, to Salah. Great defending, is that by Phillips, is it? Yeah, Phillips, shows you how fast that guy is, because he got there, went toe to toe with Salah and then had the power to hold him off. Five minutes to go. Leeds are clearly building in confidence, but they can't break us down. And Liverpool are on set, hopefully, for clean sheet and 3 points. And ladies and gentlemen, what that 3 points means is Liverpool are in the top 4. Get in there. Hopefully we can stay there. I feel sorry for Leeds because you missed your chance at the weekend, and I also think Chelsea will win. Playing tomorrow, aren't they? So I think they're playing tomorrow. I think they'll win, which means you're down to 5th and 6th if you're West Ham. So I think there's only one way you're going from there, and it's back down. Thiago winning the ball back nicely. Lovely chip ball over. Look at the weight on that. Into Salah's path. Salah inches wide. Lovely football by Thiago. Lovely weighted ball over the top. He was onside by the looks of it as well, so it would have been given. Shrugs off the defender, heads it to his path. Sort of half miskicks it. Very, very unlucky. Welcome to the chat, Robbo. Yeah, it's all messed up with the whole Super League fiasco. Totally agree, it's completely messed up. No one really knows where they're coming or going. Mourinho has been sacked. Klopp's not happy and he wants an emergency meeting with John Henry. It's all madness, isn't it? Let's be honest. And why they've chose to do it now when the fans are not there? And where's gone the days where you sort of consult with fans and, like, you know, the fans, like everyone has their groups. And Robbo's right, should have scored from Salah. He should. It was a great ball by Thiago. Really was a lovely ball. Exactly the sort of pass Thiago was brought here to do as well. He's had a good game. Let me know your thoughts on man of the match. I've not been overly bowled over by too many. I'm tempted to give it Thiago or Robertson. So let me know what you think. Or Milner saying that as well, because Milner's had a good game actually. So maybe Millie, I don't know. Really appreciate it, Robbo. Robbo saying he loves the channel. Really, really appreciate it, my friend. Means a lot to us as we try and launch the channel and get out there in the scary world that is YouTube. As I say, we're just normal people. I don't know everything about football. I hardly know everything about Liverpool, but I love them. Great cross. Bamford. What did I say at the beginning of this game? Bamford, underrated in the air. Or is it Bamford? I think it is. That's Llorente. Apologies. Don't listen to what did I say? I know nothing. Jesus bloody wept. Bloody hell. So Liverpool not going to 4th. Disappointing. After all the saves Alisson's made, and you go and let him score from a corner. Well won. Men against boys in the air. Very, very disappointing. Three Leeds fans, players could have scored that. And to be brutally honest with you, judging on the last 15 minutes, it's all that you deserve. But yeah, Robbo's right. Poor defending. Very, very disappointing. And to be honest, that's pissed me right off. Apologies for the language. But we're 5 minutes away from being in fourth place. We've had a terrible, terrible season. Just been knocked out of Europe. Klopp needs to start dishing out some slaps. Do you know what I mean? That's just unacceptable, and we've done it enough this year. Would it surprise me now with Leeds on the attack again if they scored? Not really. Very disappointing. We've done all the hard work, Liverpool. Gone to Leeds. Everyone struggled there to get a clean sheet. And we were nailed on for it. Milner's looking angry. He's looked all angry all game. Now he's looking mega angry. Liverpool, Liverpool, Liverpool. Luke Spencer, how did you feel about that? Not bad, not good defending from our boys whatsoever. Not good defending at all. Been the story of our season. Yeah, very, very disappointing. Not the start of the week that I wanted. Really thought we were going to get into fourth place. And as I say, these players need a rest. They really do. They need a rest, recharge their batteries, come back, play the kids for the rest of the year now. I know we can still get fourth, and there's a chance we probably still will, to be brutally honest. We're not a million miles off it still. But it's just getting boring watching teams come back now. Robbo saying, oh well, there's always the Super League boys, yeah. Yeah, about that. It's a really good idea, that is, yeah. But could you imagine now if the Super League was there? Imagine we're never going to make any effort now because it's just pointless. 2 minutes to go. Don't feel like we're going to do it. Very, very disappointing. I can't even see Klopp in the technical area. Maybe he's had enough. He's going to speak to John Emery as we speak. He's pissed. Unbelievable. Good header by Fabinho though. Fabinho, how much is this kid worth? He can play defence, midfield. When have you seen him have a bad game? I mean that in all sincerity. Whenever you've seen him have a bad game, can't think of one. The man of the match. Wow. I think I'm going to give it to Alisson, I think. Because the game, yeah, a win's not good. But a draw is still a point. A loss would have been awful. And we should have been 2 more goals down. 2 point blank saves from close range. Graham White saying, losing Leeds, try being a Spurs fan, son. So yeah, it's not fun being a first Spurs fan, I can imagine that. I can only imagine what Bale's sitting there thinking today. Is he meant to leave? Does he still stay here? Did Mourinho bring him back? Is it true about this I don't know, training ground, he wouldn't bring him out? Or is it true that actually it's down to results? What's everyone thinking? Last FM saying 4 extra minutes, that's right, down to the 4 of extra time. If anyone's going to score, unfortunately, I feel like it could be Leeds rather than Liverpool. I think the wind's gone out of our sails, and the wind is firmly in Leeds' sails. Terrible pause to say that by Leeds. Out for a goal kick. I think that's Hernandez. He obviously come in again. Apologies for not changing the Leeds team. But you had Hernandez, very good player. Robbo saying, what's the betting Grant that Spurs lose the final on weekend now after sacking Jose? I think they will lose it, but I think the players will definitely blame Jose if they do it. Where they've now got an excuse, which is a bit worried. Liverpool on the attack. Toe punted through. I believe that was by the Ox. That was our chance. Lovely hold-up play again by Firmino. Burst past his defender after holding it up. Clever little ball into the side, into the path of Ox. 2 bad touches and a toe punt. Yeah, that's disappointing from the Ox, really. Grant would have lost without him, and or lost with him, should I say, and I think that's the case. And I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of. I know obviously Arsenal fans are going to rib Tottenham fans if they lose, because it'll be another trophy they didn't get and all this sort of stuff. But the reality of it is there's not many teams that are going into finals with Man City and winning, I'm afraid. I won't lie, that's Liverpool season even more in the bin. Ox should have scored. Awful first touch. JJ's absolutely right. Awful first and second touch. And as I say, he's been disappointing all season, because I was expecting him to play more, and I don't really know why he hasn't. And I believe Klopp, if you play well in training, you play. So I assume he's not playing that well, or not trying hard. Leeds on the attack again. Luckily cleared up by Thiago. Long ball, which is what we've resulted in now. There's only two people up front. Carlo does well to keep the ball and keep it out for a throw on. Llorente's injured, or is he milking it? We've seen this weekend there's a lot of play acting near the final whistle when the team's doing okay. So I hope that's not the case. And as I say, big thank you to everyone joining us tonight. Really, really appreciate it. Stamford's in the building. Levi probably sacked him for not taking training, as won't need to pay compensation contract off. Sacked and no cash for Jose, as broke his contract. Who knows, but Levi loves to save some cash. I think you might have hit the nail on the head. And I think Mourinho also will be trying to use that same, he'll try and flip it round that, do you know what I mean, that this is some, I don't know, adverse working conditions that meant that he do you know what I mean? I think he knew he was going to get the sack after a Sunday, so I think he's going to do it and try and be, oh, but I'm for the fans, I love the fans, and everyone knows that's not Mourinho. Klopp and Bielsa, it's over, guys. Klopp and Bielsa just had the weirdest handshake I've seen. Klopp does not look like Klopp to me. Watch that handshake back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a Liverpool fan, but I believe that is the end of Klopp at Liverpool. I'm not saying he's going to leave tonight, but he didn't just look annoyed by the result. He looked dejected by the whole thing. Obviously, he's put out he wants a meeting with John Henry, which can never be good. Even coming onto the pitch now, there's a smile now. He's with the players. You know what he's like. But he doesn't quite look as. Looks a bit subdued. He looks like he's about to go and have a meeting with his boss. Madness, really. Thiago talking with the old hands behind their hand like they do, which is wrong for them to do that. It's a sport we all pay for. Let's see what you're saying. And Grant saying second manager 6 days before, not ideal, but the style that Josie plays, we wasn't looking forward to the final already. At least we might try to go on the attack now and play for strengths. Totally agree. I don't know what legends you've got that you guys would believe in, but I just try and get a little Tottenham legend for a moment. Where's old, what's his name? The guy who was your manager for a little while before, used to do your under 23s and all that. Remember his name? I'd go and get him, shove him in charge, and like you say, keep the tactics for another day, go back to old school, get the old changing room pumping, and go out there and start trying to put a glove on Man City in attack. So Robbo saying disappointing draw, very disappointing. Liverpool were going into fourth with a win. That dream is over. And if he loved the fans, he would pay with some sort of style, not sit back until the last 10 minutes. Yeah, it's exactly, it's madness. Robbo saying thanks for the watch along, you're more than welcome. On that note, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. On a bit of a sad note, for my first ever Liverpool watch along, I was expecting, I was close to the first win. So I'm hoping that the next time you see Liverpool on All Fans TV, Liverpool can represent themselves a little bit better. I never changed the score, did I? Let me quickly change the score. We can't close it off at a liar. That was wishful thinking. That really is the result. And on that note, guys, please join us tomorrow for All Fans TV's first Fantasy Football League. Grant, just a quick one. Once Redknapp back to the end of the season, great shout. He'd definitely get you going. I think anyone you get, just don't talk tactics, talk Tottenham, talk fans, talk passion, talk trophies, and that could be enough. So, as I say, thanks very much for joining us tonight. Don't forget to catch us tomorrow night as we do the All Fans TV's first ever Fantasy League football. And if you like fighting, put it in your diary for Saturday at 1. Mars Vidal versus Usman. It's going to be absolutely fine. I'm John Guys from All Fans TV. As I say, big apologies for the Liverpool performance. They've really let me down. Ended my Monday evening on a bit of a sour note. Really thought I was going to bed in 4th place. But All Fans TV will be here for you every day of the week. If you get a chance to like our sponsors, please do in the links in the description of the video. They're helping us try and get a bit bigger. Big thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you, Silent Panda, Grant, Robbo, Stamford, JJ, Dan Dublin, Class FM. I'm sure I've missed a few. If I have, I apologise. Dubs, JT, Bill Up, lots of you in the Luke Spencer, Howard Johnson. Too many of you to mention, guys, especially after a loss like that. Please like and subscribe. Thanks very much for tuning in to All Fans TV. It really does mean a lot to us. I'm